Welcome to day one. Where's my camera? So, cheers with my orange vanilla polar seltzer. I want to just take a second. I'm going to make sure I have everything good on my end. I'm going to pull up the email that was sent out earlier today. And I'm also going to pull up my Facebook because I'm streaming this from a different software and I want to make sure that I can see comments if they come up. So, I'm going to give everybody a second to get settled and get on. This is going live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm going to assume that most people, as it stands, are going to be watching from Facebook because my YouTube is a spanking new channel. I'm going to open my window. So I'm on to Facebook. I am muted. Doesn't say that I'm live quite yet. There we go. All right. This is fun. Ooh, and there's captions. All right, awesome. So I'm so excited for this. This is 30 Days of Human Design, creating your life with impact, leadership, and emotional mastery. So I'm going to get into day one in just a second here. After I let everybody settle in, I'll pull a card for us from the Mystical Wisdom deck. It's the prettiest deck. Collective card for day one. If you want to make this about something that's going on in your life, feel free. Oh. Ooh, face your fears. All right, release the power of fear. There we go. Okay, so in releasing my fear, I'm coming on here and I've started this 30-day live training, email and live training. And that is like a huge fear release for me because of things that I've deconditioned around commitment and stories that I have around what I can accomplish and what I can get finished. And so I've come a really long way preparing this for you guys for the last couple of months. And it's been quite the journey through some resistance and into some transformation. And so I'm really glad to be here on day one. And I'm really excited to see where this goes through day 30. So there's actually going to be every day besides Sunday, there's going to be an value packed, I can't say that enough, email in your inbox. Now, the email is going to be partnered with a live video most days, not all days, but that's every day but Sunday. So Monday through Saturday for 30 days. So it actually turns out to be 26 emails or something like that. So if you want to be on the email list, I suggest it because it's all in text. And as the emails go, I'm going to be putting links to the previous emails. So if you jump on here late, if you're a latecomer, you can just go back and learn all of the things that I already taught. Like tomorrow, I'm teaching the basics of the body graph. So you can go back and you can learn. So if you bring anybody onto this journey with you, you want to show anybody and teach anybody, they can learn through going back and seeing those. And the email is so valuable because it's text-based. You can save it. You can put it in a Google Doc. You're going to have a book by the end of the month. So I invite you guys to join me. I think there's 65. I might have gotten a couple more today. I think there's 65 people currently joining on the email training. And so my goal is to get that up to 100 before the 30 days is over. So please share this with anybody as this moves along and you find it to be valuable. So the 30 days, I am teaching you guys human design, and I'm teaching you guys how to create impact, leadership, and emotional mastery through human design. Because if you don't know me, first of all, my name is Shauna, and I'm the owner of Goldmine. And for the last 3 years, I've been teaching mainly female conscious entrepreneurs and leaders how to develop their mind-body connection and emotional mastery. And I've done that without human design. And it's been fantastic. And like, not anything like what I would have thought. And so once I learned human design, human design was already this beautiful system that I'm going to tell you in a second that incorporated all of these things that I love and put it in this pretty package that I can now structurally teach as I bring my own magic, my own intuition, my own psychic gifts into it and bring value to you guys as leaders. So the reason I like impact, leadership, and emotional mastery is because impact, I mean, if you're a leader, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're somebody who wants to create impact in your life, even if you're not an entrepreneur, impact is creating change. And as humans, I think there's a deep value and a deep desire to create change in some form or fashion. Maybe that's on a collective global scale. Maybe that's on a very home small scale. But we want to create impact. We want to create change in some way. And so impact is creating that change. And then leadership, this just came through for me and I love it so much. Impact is creating change. Leadership is inspiring change. And it's my personal belief that life is ever evolving, ever expanding, and ever emerging. And being on the leading edge of that is where life is. Being on that leading edge of stretching the narratives and stretching the paradigm and finding new ways and easier ways to do things. And that's the leadership, and that's inspiring that change and being a stand for what you believe in, and learning and continuing to embody your personal values and allowing them to change as you move forward in your life. And so mind body is something that I feel very compelled to teach. Emotional mastery is something that I feel very compelled to teach and have been. And as a leader, I find that if we cannot become emotionally masterful, not only having the freedom to experience all of our emotions, but having the mastery around guiding our emotional experience so we can manifest or move through law of attraction or actualize, or whatever word you want to use for it. Emotional mastery is the key to that. And so when impact is creating change, leadership is inspiring change, and emotional mastery is embracing the change, embodying the change. So these three things together is just like, ooh, home run. And utilizing, for me, utilizing human design is fantastic. And so I want to get into what human design is, because that's what today was about. If you received the email that went out at 11 a.m. this morning. Side note, day 2 accidentally got scheduled and also went out today. And so tomorrow, the only email that you will be getting is an apology email. You should already have day 2 in your inbox. If you do not, please message me on any of these platforms and let me know. You can go to ShaunaKathleen.com too and message me there. But right now you already have day 2. So I'm working with a new program, and I apparently made a mistake. So where was I going? Yes, day 1. We are talking about what is human design. You already have the email. Those go out around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. I want to talk about today, what is human design, what is it not, and what to avoid. And I'm going to move through the design of the email. I'm not going to read it word for word, because then why even do this live video? I want to read it. I want to see what comes out, and I want to dive a little bit deeper into it. And eventually, when people start really getting onto this train and joining me on the live videos, and they know when I'm coming on every night, having conversations with you guys, and just really diving deep into our leadership, impact, and emotions. So human design is a tool. It's a system. It's a personality tool on steroids. It's a system similar to other systems, like astrology is a system. Gene Keys, which is actually part of human design, is a system. There's the Enneagram, which is a system, right? All of these systems to learn about ourselves, human design is one of those. For me, it has been one of my favorite and most valuable systems, because I have dived into astrology and these other systems for about 5 years now. And they didn't really give me the juice that human design did right away. And I'll get to that in a second. So it combines this ancient wisdom and modern knowledge. It combines science and spirituality, literally. And it takes parts of astrology, which everybody loves. Most people love that, I know. People in my sphere love it. It takes from astrology. It pulls from that. It takes from the chakra system. I always get this wrong. The Hindu Brahmin chakra system. It takes from that. So that's the chakra system that we all recognize here in the West. And then it takes, where am I at? Oh, Hindu Brahmin chakra system, astrology. It takes from genetics, and it takes from science. So it takes from quantum physics. and some other things that I haven't really gotten into. And it puts it into this very beautiful, almost cryptic, when you first see it, system to master your life. But it's not really cryptic. Once you really dive in, and once you'll see tomorrow, it's pretty simple to understand right away and gain wisdom from it right away. And so the reason that I love it is because the quantum physics, the chakra system, the I Ching, which is an ancient book of transformation, and these other philosophies in astrology, like all of those things, if you knew me 2-3 years ago, you'll know that people knew me for pairing science and spirituality. They knew me for pairing, I mean, that's body mind. That's what I teach. I'm a mind body mentor, mind, body, mind, science, spirituality. The mind could be considered the quantum, and the body could be considered our physical reality. There's so many other ways to take that, but that's what people knew me for. And so when I learned about human design and learned that it incorporated these things, it was like, I can't not learn this. And then I couldn't stop using it with my clients, like on low. And then obviously I'm here now. I've been doing readings for, I think, about 6 months. And one of the other things I wanted to say that will explain it really beautifully is I'm going to assume that you guys are a little bit familiar with astrology, because that's the system that most people have heard of and most people have utilized, and even if it's just a little bit. So astrology, when you pull up your astrology chart, astrology utilizes the planets and energies outside of you in order to support your transformation, in order to guide you through life. Now, human design takes part of that astrology because we utilize your birth date, your birth time, your birth location, just like astrology does. And when you look at the actual system, you'll see that astrology is incorporated. But what human design does is, rather than utilize those outer planets and energies, human design guides us internally, systems in the body, energetics and circuitry in the body, to support us in self-mastery and creating our life. And I find that to be fantastic and enthralling. And if you know anything about the chakra system, the main chakra system that most people see, there's like 7 from the root up to the crown. And human design has 9. And if you're in the email sequence, you're today, do you see the chart? Yeah, you saw the chart today. I sent you my chart today. So you're going to see it has these 9 centers instead of 7. And so it incorporates, and you don't need to know any of that. It incorporates all of these systems, and it presents it in this beautiful way that, for me, I took a 3-month astrology mastermind. And I took a 5-month human design mastermind, specifically for human design and business. And the astrology mastermind still I didn't feel like I left with concrete tools right away. I didn't even feel like I truly saw myself until I got really deep into my astrology. I saw that I was a Pisces sun. And then the Pisces sun, like, well, cool, I can relate to Pisces, but I can also relate to Scorpio, and I can also relate to Sagittarius, and I can also relate to all the signs over here. And it wasn't until I really dove in and learned that my rising sign was Capricorn and what that actually means, or I'm sorry, my rising sign was Sagittarius and what that actually means, and my moon sign was Capricorn and what that actually means, that I really feel like I saw myself. And in human design, I saw myself right away, and I felt like I had this permission to be me, and I felt recognized, which is a huge thing when we start to dive into human design, specifically for my design. So human design, just like astrology has signs, 12, some say 13 signs, human design has types, 4, some say 5 types. I'm in the school of 5. Again, you don't have to worry about that. That's just me being a nerd. So human design has 5 types. Those 5 types are going to be the manifester, which you're going to start learning about the 5 types in 2 days. Okay. So this is just an overview. Those 5 types are called the manifester, the generator. And if you know your type, let me know. The manifesting generator, the projector, and the reflector. I myself am a projector. My partner is a generator. And so again, in 2 days, we're going to start covering these each individually, 1 per day. And so if you are not on the email list, I invite you to join us on the email list again. And if you do know your type, even if it's after the live is over, please comment it. I want to know what you are, and I want to know who is watching. So let me see what else I have in this email. Yeah. The biggest takeaways in all of the readings that I've done, and I want to be very clear, because the readings that I do, I incorporate tarot and oracle readings with the human design body graph reading. And so we go a little bit deeper than like a normal just human design baseline reading. And regardless, through all of the readings that I've done over the course of the last few months, the one piece of feedback that I get over and over from my clients is that they feel seen. Like, I'm not wrong. I'm actually not wrong for being me. Like, oh, that actually is how I work in the world. Because this is what human design shows us, is how we energetically are here, and how we can be correct energetically in the world, how we can set goals correctly, how we can find confidence and own our leadership, how we can create impact, how we deal with emotions specifically. And it's so, for me, knowing that I'm not wrong when I look at my body graph and I see that, I don't want to get into that because you may not understand, but when I look into my body graph and when I read my clients their body graph and they tell me like, oh, you're giving me permission to be myself. Like, you're just giving me permission to be myself. Like, I already knew that, but I just kind of thought that was wrong, or like my mom wasn't about it. Oh, it's really hot. We kept the windows open. It was like 90 degrees today. And not allowing yourself to not feel wrong, or to see where you have been conditioned to feel wrong for being who you are. You have been conditioned to feel wrong for how you work in the world energetically correctly, how you be in the world in a way that is correct for you and for the growth of the collective and for that collective impact. That's what human design brings, and human design brings it quickly, very quickly. If you join us, if you've already had a reading, if you've already had a reading from me or somebody else, you will see very, very quickly that it supports you in understanding you. And the coolest part about it is it supports you in understanding the people around you and how you guys are energetically different, and how everybody, even if you're the same type, is wildly unique. And that happens quickly. And again, with other modalities like astrology, I didn't get that right away. You can. I'm not saying you can't. And I think there may be people who teach it in a way that brings it forward beautifully. I have a lot of friends that teach astrology, but from my study and my readings and the quite a bit of time that I spent, I did not feel like I was that different from the people around me in astrology the way that I do with human design. Like, me and Adam, wildly different right off the bat, and we both saw it right away. There was no question that I am a projector. There was no question that he's a generator. No question. So I find it's so fascinating. So I want to ask you, like, where currently do you feel wrong being yourself? Because once you start diving into this human design and your body graph and the defined and undefined centers, which we'll all get into, you may start to see where you've been conditioned to feel wrong about being yourself. And it's going to light a fire, and it's going to feel really good. And if you are a leader, and if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are anybody who wants to create impact, you are going to see right away how you can start to create more impact and have that leadership and own your inner knowing and own the emotional states that you experience quickly because of somebody telling you that you are wrong in some way that actually is not wrong for you, but very right for you. Okay. Yeah, if you know your type, if you already know it, I want to know what the best part was initially when you found out about it. Like, oh, that is totally me. Let me know in the comments or in the DMs. I'd love to hear that. Listen, so that was human design was. It's a system that incorporates all those other systems. My laptop is going to die. It's a system that incorporates all of those other systems, like astrology, like the Hindu Brahmin chakra system, like quantum physics, like the I Ching, and it puts it into its own beautiful system. It was channeled in the 80s, by the way. Excuse me, my computer. That's what it is. I want to talk about what to avoid, what it is not, and then what to avoid. So I wrote in here, I'm going to read it straight from the email. What human design is not. Human design is not an excuse to limit ourselves. It is an experiment, it is a practice, and it is a guide. I like to consider human design as a gateway. It's a treasure map to the life that I want to create. And when I can decode and find my way through that treasure map and that gateway, I can then start to create my life and build my vision in a way that feels good to me, in a way that doesn't feel depleting, in a way that I feel like I can experiment with it, in a way that I feel like it's an ever-evolving practice, in a way that I don't have to feel like I have to understand it all right now, in a way that I know that I can be rich and imperfect, in a way that I know that I could have impact and still be learning about myself and doing my own shadow work, which is also something human design can guide us into and can really set out the map. We're going to get into this in week 2. Human design supports us in not only owning our fire for the places that we can have impact, it will show you where you can create impact, like pillars of business, pillars of content, but it also shows us not only where we can own the fire, but where we can do shadow work and deconditioning processes. And one thing I really, really enjoy about human design is like, you can do deconditioning processes in whatever way you want to do that. And if you don't know what a deconditioning process is, it's simply learning, taking those things you learned were wrong about yourself, or those things that we may hate about ourselves, those subconscious habits that we have that get in our way, that get us in our way, and deconstructing those and unpacking those in order to alchemize them and work for us for creating our life. And you can do that in any way that you want to. You can do deconstructing or deconditioning and shadow work in any way with any tools that you enjoy. So, and I really very much enjoy that too, because it's not telling you how to do it. It's just saying like, here's this treasure map for the life you want. Do with it what you will. And we can take it as deep or as shallow as we want to. So it is a practice. It is an experiment. Like everything else, life is a practice. When I talk about emotional mastery, even masters practice every day. So just like, let's release some of the pressure to be perfect. Let's release some of the pressure where we have to be like A1 before we can get out and start sharing our magic with other people, and understand that mastery, when I hear mastery, I hear practice and a continued practice. And so even in my own journey, I've learned where I fell off of the practice and then got back on the practice. And so that is what human design is, an experiment and a practice. It is not a reason or an excuse to limit ourselves at all. And so I put on here, what to avoid is anyone who tells you that you cannot do something because of your design, because of your chart or your body graph, which I use those two words interchangeably. It's a personality tool like any other personality tool. So it supports us in tapping into our potential. And anybody who tells you dogmatic principles of something that you cannot do, that is something to be avoided, because we are all individual. We are all unique even without human design. We are all unique. We all have unique ways that we be in the world. We all have unique perspectives and unique talents and unique values and a unique message that we get out in a unique way. And all of us are unlimited. We have unlimited potential. And so anything that may seem like a limit moving forward, I'm inviting you to see how that's actually just a different way that you tap into your unlimitedness and your unlimited potential. And so I want you to remember this ancient universal axiom. Again, if you do not know, I am in love with ancient knowledge and ancient wisdom and ancient lost civilizations and the knowledge that they have provided for us that has been lost through translation. And I love the Hermetic principles. And there's an axiom that comes from the Hermetic principles. I believe it comes from the Hermetic principle of correspondence. it states all truths are but half truths. So I want you to remember that axiom moving forward because it's going to support you. All truths are but half truths. So we can take this when in our day-to-day lives, like if Adam and I get into a disagreement, his truth is half true, my truth is half true, right? That's a very easy way to understand it. But also as you're learning about your own design and the design of the people that you love and the people around you and maybe your clients to support them, anything that may seem like a limit is like half true. And anything that may seem like the golden nugget, half true. So remember that. And I find that to be really empowering because if something seems like a limit, obviously I can feel limited by that and I don't want to, but when I can remember that that's a half truth, I'm like, oh, it's only a limit, but it actually guides me to my unlimitedness. And then if something seems like a golden nugget, the one thing that's going to support me in the big thing, I just spit. The one thing that's going to support me in the big thing, and I can remember, oh, all truths are but half truth. This is a half truth. That's going to help me because I'm going to put way too much game, way too much value on this one little thing when it's the whole picture that I'm working to build. When it's my whole personality that I'm looking to create habits for. And so remember that ancient universal axiom. All truths are but half truths. That concludes what I wanted to cover today. So again, you can catch me live on Facebook or on YouTube. I like YouTube. Personally, I like YouTube because I can watch it on the TV. But Facebook is cool because you can on your phone, you can comment easier. So wherever you want to join me, join me. I do have an Instagram, but the lives will not be on the Instagram. I think I will only put parts of it, I believe, on Instagram. We'll see what happens with that. If this sounds exciting to you, please join us, subscribe. That link is in my bio if you're on Facebook. And I believe also on YouTube. So it's really simple. And even if you join late, you're going to be able to get access to all that previous information. What else do I have? Oh, so the whole reason I'm doing this 30 days anyways is to celebrate the raising of my prices. Right now, they're dirt cheap, $60 for an hour. You can add 15 or 30 minutes, $1 a minute if you want to. And that's the most inexpensive thing I've ever had. And the reason I did that is because I live in this little tiny town called Medina in Ohio. And I met this beautiful witch named Lucy who runs a shop called The Busy Witch. And we connected and we become friends. And I started doing readings out of her brick and mortar business. And nobody in Medina knew what human design was. And so I wanted to get the word out there because my prices had been much higher. I wanted to get the word out there. So I was like, shit, I'm going to lower the prices until word gets out. And the word has been spreading and people have been loving it. And I have been having so much fun doing it. And especially like putting them together with the Oracle and the Tarot readings really help us dive really much deeper because there's a lot that I see when I work with my clients and doing I love the depth. I love the depth of it. And I can see people, especially in a one-on-one setting, I can see them really well and support them very, very well. And so this 30 days is a countdown to the raising of my prices. Either at the end of the 30 days or my schedule fills, my prices will be raising to 111 and they will continue to raise. So if you want to book one of the $60 sessions or saving $51 on an hour, do it now. And I think that it'd be really beneficial for you to have a reading as we go through this training so you can really dive in and see your chart even deeper. Yes, that you can do that through the link in my bio as well. And I do entrepreneurial readings where we really cover, most of you guys watching this are going to be leaders or entrepreneurs in some capacity. I do general readings as well. The entrepreneurial readings is fantastic because we get into money, we get into goal setting, we get into specifically how you create impact. We can get it, and we may or may not cover all these things, right? We get into where you're feeling stuck, what you want to create. We get into how you find inspiration, how uniquely you find inspiration. We get into in almost all of my human design readings, whether or not they're entrepreneurial or not, I take people into their body and I do my magic of somatic work and I take them through a somatic experience so they can leave with tools, and you will leave with tools. tools that you will understand to utilize and practice as you move forward and create your life. And so I invite you to book a $60 reading if that sounds exciting. Like, it's so unbelievably, I can't believe I've had the $60 readings this long anyways. Yeah, and if you want to join us on the email list, that's the link in my bio. I think that's all I got. Let's see. Each of us are magic, unlimited, and ever evolving. So tomorrow, again, that email accidentally already went out. Tomorrow is chart basics, body graph basics 101. So you're going to learn everything you need to know to move forward and a little bit more. And so I will come on live. I'm going to share my screen and show you the chart so you can get a little bit more familiar with what's going on. And if you have any questions, please comment, DM, and share this if you think anybody may enjoy it. So I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to see where this goes. Let's get up to 100 people. We're at 65 right now. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Post-it notes or something. We got a month. And I think 100 is like so easy. That's going to be so easy to hit. Okay. Signing off.